Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to hype up your team or maybe even just yourself, only to find that intense energy just, well, it dissipates?
Yeah, it vanishes. Yeah.
Exactly. So what if the secret to consistent performance isn't about somehow conjuring up more motivation, but actually something far more, I guess, enduring?
It's a really interesting thought, isn't it? We're sort of conditioned to believe that constant enthusiasm is the absolute key.
Hmm.
But the truth, as some of these insights reveal, it points to a more profound path. And maybe a less exhausting one, frankly.
Yes, definitely less exhausting. So today we're taking a deep dive into some really fascinating ideas that honestly challenge our usual assumptions about what truly drives high-performing teams and individuals too.
Hmm.
Our mission really for this deep dive is to clearly distinguish between that fleeting motivation and these robust anchoring standards.
Okay.
We want to uncover their true roles, understand why maybe one often masks a deeper systemic issue, and importantly, explore practical ways you can build frameworks that ensure consistent excellence.
Whether you're leading a team or just managing your own stuff.
Exactly. Your own creative process, maybe. The idea is you'll walk away with a fresh perspective on leadership, self-discipline, and perhaps even how you approach that next big goal.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, let's start where many of us often do. Picture this. You're a leader, or maybe just, someone trying to get through a big to-do list.
Oh, yeah.
And there's this real pressure to constantly be on.
Oh, yeah.
Think about the classic, like, Monday hype decks or the Friday pep talks. It's all about bringing the energy, trying to be the spark.
We've all felt that, haven't we? That need to find the next motivational trick just to keep things ticking over.
It's like running on a treadmill, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
constantly trying to willpower consistency into existence.
It really is. And that's where these insights offer such a compelling counter-narrative. The hard-learned lesson, the one observed across lots of successful groups, it's surprisingly simple.
Okay.
The most consistent teams,
Yeah.
they aren't perpetually motivated. No,
Yeah.
they're anchored.
Anchored. Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means they operate from a place of clear, sort of non-negotiable standards. It's not really about how they feel on any given day.
Right.
It's about a baseline they simply don't dip below.
That distinction, wow, that alone feels like a bit of a relief, doesn't it? Because when we talk motivation, it feels so personal.
Yeah, emotional.
Emotional, yeah. It's
Yeah.
that burst of energy, like you said, maybe like a sugar rush. It can definitely light a fire, and that fire can be powerful, sure. But you can't run the whole building on just that sporadic flame, can you?
Yeah.
It doesn't keep the lights on, like, long term.
Precisely. Motivation is that flash of inspiration,
Right.
that perfect pump-up playlist, that sudden clarity after a great meeting or a big win.
Yeah.
But what happens the moment discomfort or maybe an unexpected problem walks in the door?
It disappears.
It vanishes. It fades. So if your leadership or even just your own personal discipline is built only on those emotional highs, well, you're constantly just chasing fuel.
Looking for the next hit of inspiration.
Exactly. Instead of building robust systems that actually work regardless of the emotional weather.
Yeah. Okay, so if motivation is this powerful but ultimately fleeting sugar rush, what's the alternative then? What's the bedrock that really sustains momentum?
Standards. That's the word. Our sources describe them as the invisible architecture of trust.
Invisible architecture of trust. I like that.
And crucially, this isn't about top-down control. That's a common misunderstanding. It's fundamentally about clarity.
Clarity, okay.
Standards explicitly tell your team or just you exactly what excellence looks like in practice.
So defining it clearly.
Yes. Defining how you communicate, how you deliver, how you revise work. They spell out, and I love this phrase, what we protect even when no one's watching.
What we protect even when no one's watching. That really hits differently, doesn't it? It speaks to integrity, maybe ingrained habits.
Exactly. A deep commitment beyond just hitting the numbers.
So how does that translate into the actual, like, day-to-day rhythm of a team or workflow?
It becomes the rhythm. It is the structure. Standards act like a mirror, constantly showing you if you're actually upholding what you say you value. They give people something tangible to belong to, something concrete to rise to. And this leads to the core idea from the sources.
Which is?
If your team, or even just your own personal workflow, is constantly crashing and then rallying, always needing that remotivation, it's probably not a motivation problem. It's a leadership design problem. It means the system itself just isn't built for consistency.
Wow. Okay, that's a really powerful way to reframe it. It shifts the whole conversation from how do I get myself or my team to feel more energized
Right.
to how do I design a system that actually works consistently, regardless of mood, regardless of pressure.
Exactly.
But I have to ask, isn't there a potential downside? Some people might argue, too many standards could stifle creativity or innovation,
Yeah.
make people feel boxed in.
That's a really important question,
Yeah.
and it gets to the nuance here. The sources, they aren't pushing for like rigid micromanagement at all.
Well, they emphasize that standards aren't usually about what you do at every tiny step. They're more about how you approach the work. What level of quality is the baseline? How do you collaborate?
Ah, okay.
Think of it less like a straitjacket, maybe more like the solid floor under a gymnast.
Okay, interesting analogy.
They need that stable floor, that reliable surface, to even attempt their most daring creative routines, right? Without that solid foundation, every jump just feels risky, precarious.
That makes a lot of sense. So standards don't necessarily stifle creativity.
No, they can actually enable bolder leaps because
Huh.
that baseline is secure. You know where good is, so you can reach for great.
Okay, got it. So this isn't about abandoning motivation entirely. That feels like a key point.
Hmm.
We're not saying motivation is bad or,
Okay,
useless.
not at all.
Yeah.
In fact, the source material is pretty clear. Motivation is beautiful. It's the color, it's the warmth.
Yeah.
It's that incredible feeling when things just click and you're genuinely excited, maybe celebrating a win together. Absolutely. It's the spark, the celebration, the human bit that makes the work feel enjoyable and meaningful.
It's the passion
Right.
that can propel you to new heights.
But it's not the foundation.
It's not, and really can't be, the foundation.
Mhm.
Standards, they are the bones of your team or the structure of your personal discipline. They provide the solidity, the enduring strength.
So connecting this all up, you could say. Let motivation be the celebration. Let standards be the structure.
That's a great way to put it.
It's about understanding their different complementary roles. Instead of just seeing motivation as the only thing that matters, you build the sturdy house with standards, and then you fill it with the joy and energy and inspiration of motivation. It just feels like a much more sustainable and robust way of working.
Completely. And what's really striking is how our sources even take this idea further, using some powerful visual metaphors to kind of anchor it.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Well, they reference a piece of artwork. It's called A Warrior of Grace and Clarity, apparently. And it perfectly embodies this balance we're discussing.
A warrior of grace and clarity. Okay, tell me more. That sounds intriguing. How does that connect?
Well, the figure in this artwork is described as being grounded in softness, yet armored with gold.
Softness and armor. Okay.
Which is fascinating, right? It visually translates this idea of standards. It's not about being harsh or inflexible. It's about holding your standards with a kind of gentle but undeniable power.
Like a leader who upholds boundaries, but with understanding as well as strength.
Exactly. And there's this detail of a flower she touches. Apparently, it isn't just decoration.
Okay.
It represents intention, growth that's been deliberately chosen, a standard being upheld with grace. It highlights the idea that high performance isn't just accidental. It's cultivated. It's chosen.
Wow. And the most powerful part of that image.
Just the final observation. She doesn't chase light. She radiates it. Which speaks directly to what we were saying, doesn't it? It's not about constantly seeking an external energy source, like chasing that fleeting motivational high.
Right. It's internal.
It's an internal state, a kind of built-in radiance that comes from being truly aligned, having clear, upheld expectations. The whole image just embodies the energy of a team, or maybe an individual, aligned around standards. Elegant, enduring, and just unmistakably intentional.
That visual really helps make it stick. So, okay, let's bring this down to earth. What does all this actually mean for you, the listener, directly? Whether you're leading a team, trying to get a project going, or just navigating your own goals.
Well, fundamentally, it's about a shift in your internal question.
Okay.
Instead of constantly asking, how do we feel today? Am I motivated enough? Is the team motivated?
Yeah, the energy check-in.
Exactly. The quiet magic of standards guides you to ask a different question. What do we hold ourselves to?
What do we hold ourselves to? That feels quieter, but stronger somehow. It's incredibly powerful, and it forces a deeper look. So to move from just relying on, vibes to building a truly anchored system, our sources offer 4 really practical questions you can ask yourself or your team.
Okay, let's hear them. What's the first one?
First, have I defined what excellence looks like clearly? And clearly is the key word.
Right. Not just vaguely.
Not just do a good job. It means articulating precisely what a good job involves. So, for instance, if you're a content creator, it's not just create great content.
Okay.
It might be every piece of content will have, say, at least 3 unique data points, a clear call to action, and be proofread by 2 different people before it goes live. That's specific.
That level of specificity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's often missed, isn't it? It's the difference between just a vague hope and an actual target you can aim for. Okay, what's the second question?
Second, can anyone on my team describe our baseline without me in the room?
Ooh, good one. Right. If your standards only exist when you're there, if people are constantly coming to you to clarify what's expected, then they're not really embedded in the system.
So a concrete example might be, like, could a new team member, after maybe just a week, explain the team's process for handling client feedback accurately, not just saying we respond to it?
Exactly. Can they articulate the how? That's a great litmus test for whether it's truly systemic.
Okay, makes sense. Third question.
Third, are our rituals reinforcing the standard, or are they relying on moods?
Rituals, like daily stand-ups, weekly reviews.
Precisely. It digs into your regular routines. Are they designed to consistently uphold excellence? Or do they kind of fluctuate wildly based on how everyone's feeling that day or how busy things are?
Give me an example.
Okay, so instead of a vague team check-in when we remember, you might have a mandatory daily stand-up at 9:25 where everyone shares their #1 priority for the day and one potential blocker.
Right. That ritual forces a standard of communication and proactive problem solving. It's not optional.
Exactly. It makes sure your actual actions line up with your stated values.
Okay. And the final question, the fourth one.
Is our energy sustainable, or is it seasonal?
Sustainable versus seasonal.
Meaning, does your team crash and burn after every big deadline or project push, only to need another round of pep talks and motivation boosts to get going again?
The boom and bust cycle.
Right. Or is there a more consistent underlying hum of productivity and quality even during the quieter periods? Think about a project that always suffers from post-deadline blues versus a team that seems to move pretty seamlessly from one thing to the next.
The second one has sustainable energy. The first one relies on those seasonal bursts.
You got it.
Okay, those 4 questions are incredibly clarifying. They really cut to the chase.
They do. And they bring us back to that core message, really. The best teams aren't just perpetually motivated, they're aligned.
Right. They don't constantly need to be pumped up. They just know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and the level of quality that's expected.
It's like the difference between someone sprinting these short, frantic bursts and someone maintaining a steady, powerful stride in a marathon. One burns out, the other endures.
A perfect analogy.
And standards.
Hmm?
They don't shout. They kind of echo. They resonate through the work, through the team culture, through the results you get. And when they're done right, when they're truly integrated into the very fabric of how you operate, they become legacy. They build something that lasts way beyond any single burst of motivation.
So the takeaway isn't don't motivate.
It's you don't need to constantly motivate. You need to model the standard.
Build the system.
Build the system. Okay, so to recap our deep dive today, we've really dug into why chasing that fleeting motivation can feel like a sugar rush that inevitably fades.
Right.
And why anchoring your efforts and your team's efforts in robust, crystal clear standards is the true sustainable path to consistency and to excellence.
It's about shifting the focus. Exactly. Remember, you don't necessarily need to be the constant motivator. You need to be the one who models and builds and upholds the standard.
So if standards are the bones, the structure, and motivation is the color, the passion, the celebration, then maybe we leave you with this thought to ponder.
Okay.
What kind of structure are you truly building? For your own success or for your team? And then once that strong foundation is there, what beautiful, enduring celebrations will you build on top of it?
That's a great question to reflect on. And maybe as a call to action, we invite you listening to think about just one small area in your life or your work where you feel like you have a motivation problem.
Just one area.
And ask yourself, could it actually be a leadership design problem in disguise, even if you're just leading yourself? Try replacing that reliance on fleeting moods by defining one clear, simple standard for that area. Just one.
See what happens.
Yeah. See how much more anchored and maybe consistently excellent you can become. It really could be a game changer.